Welcome to the cul-de-sac driveway. I'm Jared, and this is Wrench Every Day. We're not at Site B. There's more on that coming later, but right now we've got something quite exciting. Next to me is the 2015 GMC Sierra Heavy-Duty Denali, the truck we picked up on the way back from Car Trek because the Titan blew up. I haven't even made the first payment, and Car Trek 5 is about to start. We're starting off from Amelia Island, and to prepare the truck for towing and work that we do with Car Trek with it, I was getting ready to order some parts. There's really one tuner, one parts provider you should work with when it comes to the Duramax platform. That's Banks Diesel. So also sitting next to me is a box from Banks. It's not all their parts. I have more coming, but these are kind of the most important parts that affect the way the truck feels when you drive it. Any modern diesel, really any modern car, uses what's called an accelerator pedal position sensor and drive-by-wire throttle body. You no longer have a cable connected from your foot to the throttle body to open up and give you air. So what happens is, to meet emissions requirements, to make it drive smooth and comfortable, there is what's called a PID. It's a tuning term.
Hey guys, Dwayne the editor here. If you want to know, and I'm sure you do, what PID stands for, well, it's proportional integral derivative. So a PID controller is a control loop mechanism employing feedback requiring continuously modulated control that calculates an error value of E times T as the difference between a desired set point and a measured process variable, and applies a correction based on proportional, integral, and derivative terms, denoted P, I, and D respectively. Hence the name PID controller. Got it? No, you don't. I don't either.
There is what's called a PID. It's a tuning term that as you're applying the pedal, if you push the pedal halfway down, the computer may say, I only want to give you 30% throttle. Or it's just very slow. As you're ramping that pedal in, it reacts much slower. So companies produce a product called a pedal conditioner, signal enhancer. There's lots of different names for it. Banks has, in my opinion, the absolute best one, the Pedal Monster, where as you apply the pedal, it enhances the signal coming from the sensor to the ECU, so it results in a much better acceleration feel as you're doing that. Well, rather than just, stand here talking in a nice cul-de-sac, let me bring you up closer so you can see what all we've got in this big old box. And honestly, it didn't need to be that big. Also, professional tip, pick the absolute middle of the day with no clouds to film. It is very good for light, and by very good I mean terrible. But let's go ahead. We're actually at editor Dwayne's house. He's busy doing garden work while I'm filming. So yeah, it doesn't need to be that big. This was a box another part came in. So let's take these things out. I'll be honest, I am incredibly excited to be getting ready to install these parts. And when I had the Titan, I was disappointed they didn't support it. So as you can see, this is their iDash with Data Monster. This is a cool unit here that if it comes over the OBD CAN, this displays it. You can daisy chain several of these together, and this is an interface to the tuners and Pedal Monster. And Pedal Monster. These are things that you can install very easily in a driveway with two tools generally. There we go. So this is the unit. It just plugs in place of your sensor and changes the pedal feel. Now I keep saying feel because they advertise it as a driving enhancement, pedal feel improver, but not a performance tool. But I was kind of thinking that if we're enhancing the signal the computer is getting, there's a very good chance that we will have some power improvements. So I'm going to go out and, another tool that we have sitting here is the AutoMind. That is a power tuner where it will actually give us basically modern Duramax, the 2021, 1,000 plus foot-pounds of torque, absolutely insane power when we want it, as well as comfortable small normal towing numbers or power numbers. The best part is this tuner is currently getting a CARB certification number. Most of Banks products actually do have CARB certification numbers, and while we may not like some of the diesel emissions requirements and things that are out there, they're not going to go away. And rather than trying to cheat the law, Banks has worked really hard to minimize soot, the black rolling coal, because that's not making power, that's not cool, it's wasting money, and what's kind of actually pulled the microscope down on the tuning world. But they work to maximize efficiency, power, and again, keep emissions friendly, which is absolutely insane that they're able to do it. So getting back to the test that I kind of actually want to throw at it, and when I mentioned it to Banks, they reminded me that, again, this is a enhancement feel. It is not meant to be a performance tool. It will make things feel faster, but I want to see what it'll do in a 40 to 60 test. It's not a normal test that you would do, but if you're cruising down the road and you have to punch the throttle because you want to pass something or accelerate away from something, I feel like the Pedal Monster might actually improve it. So we are going to go out and we are going to do a standing quarter-mile test with the Dragy, and then we're going to start where we're cruising at 38 miles an hour and punch it so that way the Dragy will read and give us a 40 to 60 test. We're going to do that 3 times, come back, then I will show you how easy it is to install, and go out and do the test again. So no Pedal Monster, and see what we can do. Let's go drive. Okay, so off camera we've done just kind of one test to make sure the Dragy was taking our custom parameter of the 40 to 60, and in order to do that we start at 38. So I'm going to get here and start cruising. We get up to 38, and we are currently completely stock, no changes. We're normal drive mode. The reason I'm thinking we may find success from the Pedal Monster here is I put my foot down and it just takes so long for the truck to do something. Now there is a downshift that has to happen, but I really think we can have some fun there. All right, let's get established at our speed and full throttle. There it goes. And 60. We're going to go back to the shop, or cul-de-sac, and go through installing everything, get a little bit of wrenching done, and see just how much it's going to transform the truck. All right, and we are back from the drive, and including the preliminary off camera, we did our 40 to 60 and 4.6, 5.06, a 393, and another 506. If you're wondering why we're doing a 40 to 60 speed test, that is, you're cruising down the road, you need to pass someone over a line, someone has slowed down a little bit in front of you and you're accelerating back up to speed. And as you can kind of tell in some of the footage, there's a ton of delay, and that's where I think the Pedal Monster is going to help. We're going to get that installed, cut to a quick time lapse, and put a cool gauge pod in, and talk just a little bit more about it, and let's go hit the road again with that. Right now we are working to get the iDash, which is kind of the interface and gauge display from the Banks, kind of at a nice level position. Put a micro SD card in and it will record a lot of information from a lot of driving, so that way if you're on a road trip and something feels weird with how the truck is running, you are able to kind of check and see what was recorded and diagnose what went wrong with it. that is fairly simple to install. I've got it kind of kicked at an angle. I may end up changing that, but I kind of like the slide angle. Normally that would screw in, but somebody lost the screw, and that would have been me. So we've got our data monster, or our pedal monster, tucked in behind here with the cables coming up. And other than that one cable down there plugging into OBD2, you can't tell anything has changed. It's a really nice simple install. So our next step is to connect the app to our pedal monster. So you key the truck on. Okay, I know it. I know my door is open. There we go. Okay, so you open up your app here, pairing device, search for our pedal monster. Oh, I have to push a button. 1 second. So maybe read the instructions. There's my pairing button that I need to push that I had to cut my zip tie. So push and hold. Oh, that's not small enough. Okay, got a ballpoint pen. Let's try this one. So push and hold. And now we come back to the app and we are paired. Okay, so now we will calibrate the vehicle. So let us move our tools. Okay, begin calibration. Okay. There we go. Wow, if you actually look on track, there we go. It outputs a lot more than you're requesting. So we are going to go ahead and go out and do some tests. We'll just do Sport 5 and see what we get here in just a minute. So the initial just feel of it is the truck is a lot snappier. Like I just cruising around, leaving a light. I have it basically on what would be 15. It's the middle of Sport. Sport 5 is where I just have it set at. Just kind of, I figured that'd be a good benchmark, not too crazy. And again, what they advertise it as is an improved pedal feel and just better overall, just kind of snappy throttle experience. Yes. So we're going to go out and again see if my theory is right. I can definitely tell the transmission still sometimes is slow to think, but we're coming around and we'll do the test. So we're set, cruising, and full throttle. Again, it's still working around that transmission, so... All right, what's the first time?
4.22.
4.22. So, of the average, that's better, but we have 3 more tests to go. So we will see what we can get out of it. We are going to go ahead then and pull over here in a little bit and install our very last upgrade, which is the engine tune. And we'll do a quarter-mile test and head back to the Colda shop and kind of go over everything. All right, so we did the intensive calculations. Wasn't that hard. We read off numbers and then averaged them. But our stock average was 4.67, but that included a 3-second kind of statistical anomaly that we're not sure why we got, but didn't feel as fully accurate. So if we remove that, we came to an average of 4.85 seconds for 40 to 60 acceleration. With the pedal monster on Sport 5, which is basically middle of its entire stock 30 range, we came up with an average of 4.482. Now, what we also did off camera was install the AutoMine tune. We're not covering that too much yet in this episode because we're going to be doing more of that later on as we have a couple more parts coming. But the tuned average with the pedal monster came in at an average of 3.5 seconds, so drastically faster than all of them. Now, the reason that you run both is you don't always want that super sensitive pedal. Again, if you're just trying to drive normally, you have a trailer, you don't want to rewrite the ECU to always have an aggressive pedal. So I like the ability to kind of change, again, the pedal feel and everything like that. So again, appreciate Banks and Jay and the guys working with me and sending the parts, because honestly, I believe in the product that much, and with the Duramax you treat it with the best, and quite frankly, they're the best. For those asking on what power tune I went with, it's the work tow, the exact middle of the road for power, because we're about to do a lot of working and towing. As the smart thing is, you always add more power and make the throttle mapping better before, you know, changing the oil or fuel filters or diff oil or anything. So next time we are going to go through and get the truck fully serviced, ready to work, because again, Car Trek's coming up, and we've got something really cool and exciting. And for the first time ever, I get to shoot a little behind the scenes of Car Trek, and you're going to get a little glimpse of what we've got going on well before the series releases. So that's kind of a cool, fun thing that we get to do. Maybe it's their way of saying thanks for blowing up your truck and having to buy a new one, filming. I don't know. But anyway, we're excited for that coming up. Again, appreciate you guys watching, hanging out with us. If you want a awesome Pirasop Supervisor shirt or anything else, check out our merchandise on Bunker Branding. We're also working with them to bring some cool other things, keychains, stickers. Let us know what else you guys might want to have and wear and support us with. Again, we always appreciate the support. I'm Jared, reminding you to always make questionable choices, except for when it comes to the quality of parts you're getting. Don't put cheap, dangerous electronics on your vehicles, because then you hurt someone else. And again, if you're going to hurt yourself, it's okay. Never hurt someone else because of a questionable choice. See ya.